Good morning, friends and followers, and welcome back to a new project. My name is Smoe, I'm a German graffiti artist, and today I want to take you with me to a public painting project in a small village near my hometown called Ostbevern. When most people think of Ostbevern, the first thing that comes to mind is the historic water castle Schloss Lohburg, which today is known as a prestigious boarding school. But alongside half-timbered and traditional houses and the architectural beauty in general, which will play a role in this video, I also lived here for more than 5 years on my parents' farm, some kilometers outside of the center, what also makes painting in this village even more special for me. Ostbevern is the kind of place that feels truly welcoming, with lots of small shops like a tiny bookstore, a lovely flower shop, a fine food store, an optician for whom I once painted a bumblebee with glasses, a goldsmith, and even a clothing store that has been part of the community for over 70 years already. But when you see the modern town hall standing next to the beautiful church in the center of the village, you see it is a mix of tradition and modern life. And to me, it's simply a beautiful place on earth. But pretty close to the marketplace, they were facing a huge architectural problem. One of these problems that only an artist can solve. And the question why the artwork right behind me is nearly invisible and why it all took so freaking long, I will tell you in this video. Enjoy! The place I'm painting has quite a history. In the beginning, it was a small fire station, with 3 trucks parked behind those big doors. Later, it became a cultural center, a place for painting workshops, theater and music. But then, they needed a rescue staircase, and the only legal solution was to place it right in front of the building, which honestly looks pretty stupid, and the whole town of Ostbevern wasn't so sure about that decision. So the Ostbevern Cultural Society, the City Council and the Cultural Foundation of the local bank Sparkasse Warendorf all teamed up, their mission to turn this staircase into an art competition. And you know what? Even I got an email with the art competition on my computer, and I just knew immediately what this staircase needs. Those of you who've been following my channel for a while might remember the project at the old waterworks 6 years ago. Pretty similar situation. A disturbing light grey box right in front of a beautiful building. Important for function? Yes, but stealing all the attention. So I made it disappear with paint. I've done this so many times, from small electricity boxes in the streets, blending them into brick walls, painting them with ivory, or adding windows to them, or turning them into bushes with leaves and so on, so that they disappear in the park. Even turning boring plastic benches into wooden ones. Sometimes I even go further. A box becomes, for example, a piano, or maybe a shelf with some books and some decoration. Another one, a tiny barn with animals, and even the neighbor's dog. Or this one at the bus stop that I turned into a bus stop itself, with animals waiting. Or this silly idea where I duplicated the house itself just in a smaller version right in front of it. I like it just so much more when a painting in public is not just a random flower or animal. I think the magic happens when the painting starts to interact with the environment in some way. And then there was the pixel project. I know it was super annoying to paint, but the result, it was just such a funny effect, and I wanted to do that again for so long, but just on a bigger scale. And painting the staircase with this design would fit perfectly. On one hand, it's an artwork that feels playful, but never loud. It gives the surroundings room to breathe while still staying interesting. It does not only fit perfect to the environment, it also looks laser sharp and clean when you're standing right in in front of it. A contemporary design, almost like being live pixelated. I mean, even this guy said it was a brilliant idea.
It is a brilliant idea.
And making a Photoshop mock-up for the art competition is so easy. All I need to do is select the stairs, blur them out, and there it is gone. Pixelate them. Done. Ooh, there we are. 3 minutes. Alright, so I put everything together in a nice PDF. That alone took me at least several hours, but I had to introduce myself and I wanted to show examples to prove that I can actually paint just in case they don't know me. And of course, calculating the price and the duration of the whole painting process based on the plan of the staircase that all participating artists received. It has exactly 38.38 square meters, and luckily my regular price for that size was still below the budget limit. 7 to 9 days of painting is what my calculation sheet predicted. So, like my friend Nick would say,
a quick little project for in between.
Oh, and several months later, I nearly forgot about the whole project. I got an email that I won this thing, and now I am allowed to paint this nice staircase completely with pixels, and this is what we want to do now. Preparation is always such a thing. It takes a while to clean this whole staircase. I have to remove all the dirt and all the fat, and then, of course, I need to sand this whole thing so that we have a good surface to get enough grip for the primer. And even if that sounds like a boring part of the job, I actually enjoy doing work like that, especially if I know how much time it will take. And as I have some experience with projects on metal, like for example the camper van, that took me around 4 days of preparation, and I know that back then I was very frustrated because I underestimated the work so much, and after 12 days everything was forgotten, the camper van looked nice and the customer was happy. So I pretty much knew what I was signing up for, even though every project has its own challenges, but I was thinking like, okay, maybe like 4, maybe 5 days of preparation, and then we can finally start painting the first squares. I have to admit that it wasn't actually my plan to make a YouTube video about this project at all. This is why I recorded everything in vertical mode, because I thought, okay, it is like Nick said,
just a quick little project for in between.
And it is just painting squares. I did not see coming what actually was awaiting me in this project. Okay, so as I was sharing the process of this project live in my Instagram stories and several thousand people were watching me doing my work, I was just happy to finally get started with the painting part after all that prep work on day 5. But it was the measuring of all these squares that really took quite some time. More than I thought. But still 4 days left. Yeah. And then there was rain. Yeah, I completely forgot about rain. Yeah. Rain sometimes makes it impossible to paint. And yeah, on day 6 it was just raining, so I had only 4 hours to paint. But on day 7, finally, I somehow found my groove, and the best tactic to paint squares on the staircase was to paint squares that don't touch each other first, so that they get dry enough to put tape on top of them, then close all the vertical gaps between them, and do the same with the vertical rows that are left over the other day. In my head, I was already aware that it is maybe not 9 days, maybe it is around 15 or something. But okay, it is like it is. I have to finish this project anyways, otherwise I will not get paid at all, and at the end I actually knew that these pixels are tricky. On the electric boxes, I did not have to wait for the drying time, as the pixels were smaller and I was able to work with the wallpaper trimming guide for the horizontal lines, for the vertical lines. But this turned out to look too dirty with bigger pixels, and another thing that I also had to keep in mind on the staircase was that I had to leave pixels free for the ladder. Like I said, every project has its own challenges. My Instagram was flooded with messages. Everyone was asking, what is he even doing there? At that point, the concept wasn't really visible to the public yet, and many people were worried about my income on this project. Of course, I would always prefer to spend a few unpaid days if that's what it takes to let the artwork truly shine, instead of rushing or cutting corners. But yes, it was painful to know that every single day ahead of me will be an unpaid working day. And honestly, failing in public also is not what I like too much. But then I posted this shot, and suddenly my inbox exploded. Now everyone understood the concept. Now the pixels suddenly made sense. But don't worry, I'm still not done. This is just the front of it. We still have to complete the back side of it that we still need to finish. Like over there will be like gray street, a little bit of green here and gray at the top. And then we have some here and we have there. We also have the other side. So now, as the front side is completely gone, we just have finished 30% of this monster. I started already at the inside. Nevertheless, day 10 of what were supposed to be just 9 working days turned out to be one of those really tough ones. The realization hit me. I might still have maybe 10 more days ahead of me. My magical commission calculation sheet had failed me once again, and the price I had to pay was my own time. And then it started raining again. Finishing this project felt so far away, but I didn't want to rush it either. Every single square deserved the attention it needed, so while the rain kept pouring down, I focused on all the measuring to save the dry days for the painting. I'm not the kind of person who stays annoyed or sad about a situation for too long. Pretty quickly I can shift into a thought that helps me to move on. One of those thoughts is something that I learned from my mother. She once told me, "You are never as free as when you are waiting, because then it's not your fault that everything else afterwards will be delayed." Yeah, and now being trapped in this project almost feels like that. I mean, it is still my fault that I miscalculated the time somehow. I will have to adjust my magical calculation sheet somewhere, but at the end it is the project that needs to be finished. And I can do this fighting with myself, painting 12 hours each day, or trying to enjoy the days ahead of me. I never had so much time listening to podcasts or just time to think about stuff without getting disturbed. Being trapped in this project started to be a blessing in a weird way. In the evening, I even took a detour through Beusenstraße just to see the artwork from a driver's perspective. And the difference is just unbelievable. What once stood out so much has now completely disappeared. Incredible. I'm dying. This is so good. This is so good. Okay, can you see this tape here. Okay, you all understood the concept of the invisible staircase. We can go to the sidewalk. Here is a cross on the floor, and from this cross the staircase is invisible. But we still have the sides of the staircase, like this one here that I have to paint, and also the inside. And there you can see the tape. That is where the gray dots will have to be to continue this line of the building. And now we go to the third cross over there. Real quick, we still have 3 seconds. And now, can you see this? The line continues from both sides and it fits here as well. So I will have to paint the door here. And this is like, I'm dying. This is so good. This is so good. I will show it to you when it's done. Then in 3 weeks probably. Then you will understand it. But this makes me happy. This makes me so happy. Since we always have the choice to focus on the positive or the negative, I try to hold on to as many things as possible that make me happy. After all, there is no way but forward. On day 13, my dad helped me out with the scaffolding to finally reach the last spots that my ladder couldn't. The feedback was just heartwarming. I got so many nice messages and the feeling like my audience was suffering so much more than I did myself. Yeah, and the other day even Nick stopped by to see how this
quick little project for in between
was coming along. I painted pixel number 1000 on day 15. During the first 9 days I was consistently working against time, but now the fact that I had miscalculated became more and more like a running joke. Every extra day I added to the originally planned 9 just made the whole situation a little bit more absurd. And when the backside was done, I was close to tears. There are still these 2 pillars here that we need to finish, and sadly there is still the whole stairway upwards that is completely white, and I'm afraid of pixels like here in this corner. It is like you can nearly put your hand there to spray paint at all. This will be hard, and there are a lot of tiny edges still missing, and yeah, I underestimated the amount of work a lot. I was planning to do this whole stairway in 9 days, and we still have around 9 days in front of us. Yeah, experience, it's all experience. We won't hurry. So I marked out all the pixels on the stairway above, on the inside, and took the time to count them all, because I knew, okay, I already have more than 1000 pixels. But when I told ChatGPT to calculate the size based on the number of squares, it told me it is twice the size of what I calculated last year. I was thinking that I have to paint 1000 pixels, but it turns out to be 1700 pixels at the end. So there are still around 600 pixels left that I have to paint. I was thinking it is 9 days that I have to paint here. At the end it will be around 30. Worst calculation ever. How in the world could this happen? I don't know. But at least my magical commissions calculation sheet did not fail. It was my math. But okay, the universe probably wanted me to paint the staircase, because if I calculated it right, I would have been nearly double of the budget and the staircase would not look that cool. So again, yes, there is frustration in me, but let's also prepare some good reasons not to be frustrated later. So my idea was, okay, the staircase is legendary already. Definitely. I have more time for podcasts. I can prove that I'm unbreakable. I think I've done this already. It is a funny story. Maybe they can pay some more days, was what I also thought. If I ask them, if I ask, I can just ask. Maybe it is possible to turn this idea somehow in a print. When I make a YouTube video about this, if I can find a sponsor for the video. And at the end, all I need to do is just continue and it will be finished one day. And when I think about it, painting pixels for 2 months straight is such a great video title. So let's keep pushing. Yo friends and followers, we made it to the top. Now the inside of the top is already done as well. Only this shitty edge here, this shitty edge over there is still missing. We also have everything here. This white pixels, by the way, are from this door, and this all will fit from this place over there. I will show it to you tomorrow. And I just want to say thanks a lot to everyone in my comment section that told me that they would have already killed themselves or asked me if I'm frustrated. I am in a weird way. Thanks a lot, but I think we still will have to wait like 5 days or something and then the project will be done. Still around 50 pixels and the whole clear coat. And we need to remove the scaffolding and remove all the glue from the tape. There's a lot of glue of the tape here and there that we need to remove, and yeah, it is like it is. But yeah, I am frustrated. Holy cow, this is so interesting. Nearly all day when painting with headphones, I was listening to a podcast from the Shaolin monks SHI HENG YI and SHI HENG SUAN. They said something that perfectly describes what I've learned over the last years. Frustration, anger, even rage. Yes, they will come, but instead of fighting with them, you welcome them, don't identify with them, and they fade away. Yo, friends and followers, we are nearly there. There's still 1 pixel left, and it is this one here. This one, but I can't do it because this is fresh color, this is fresh color, and this is also fresh color. So yeah, I will do it the next day as the first thing that I will do, and then I will finally put the clear coat on it. Yeah. Okay, but before we need to mask a lot and clean this thing because a lot of bees have made some shit on it. You know the struggle. 24 days probably, maybe 25, and we will be done. Yeah! In this project I learned the hard way that I can't fight time. It moves on at its own pace. Every project takes exactly the time it needs to be good, so the only way is to keep working calmly without pressure. And the last step, adding the clear coat, is so important. Without it, the surface would have different glossiness depending on temperature, wind, humidity, and so on. I mean, this is an outdoors paint job, and this happens when painting on 20 different days with 20 times different weather. And I could never leave the artwork like that, so I added 2 coats of 2-component clear coat with a roller and a 3rd layer with the spray gun to give the matte finish a bit more texture. And now the staircase looks smooth as hell. And while editing this project, a super weird idea suddenly hit me. There was this one painting I did years ago that would fit perfectly into this pixel theme. The Mona Lisa from the abandoned factory. I have no clue why I never turned it into a print, but now I just had to try what it would look like in pixels. And holy cow! It already looked amazing, but something was still missing. So I grabbed some spray paint, wrote the words, "You see what you see," for the real drips and splashes, went through several versions until I finally had the perfect composition. A new print that connects classic art and modern pixel and reminds you that perspective is always subjective. No matter what others tell you how you should act, feel or judge, you see what you see. This print will come to you signed and numbered and limited to only 100 pieces, okay, 99 pieces, one of them will stay in my living room. So if you want to get your pixel Mona Lisa, be quick. Check out my shop, smoenova.de. The link is down there. Probably there will be a QR code that you can scan with your smartphone, and then you have the shortcut to your Mona Lisa print. Oh yeah!
Boah, ist das schön. Das ist... Oh mein Gott. So habe ich mir das vorgestellt.
On the very last day, I had to remove all the tape from the railing. In total, more than 2 kilometers of tape went into this project, and just peeling off the final 40 meters took me 8 hours, including all the sticky glue that was left behind. But even this challenge I accepted with gratitude. That's just how it is. I'm not going to risk a heat gun on fresh paint. I'd rather spend a few extra hours picking it off by hand than ruin what I've worked so hard for. And in the end, I realized something. This project was exactly what I needed to finally slow down. I had to cancel a few other jobs, and after 10 years on YouTube, I discovered that the world does not end if you don't upload for 2 months. My relationship with time has become healthier, and on the day of the public opening, life still had a few surprises waiting for me.
Ist das nicht eine schöne Oberfläche?
Can you quickly say something for my vlog?
Yeah, I can say something.
What happened
for your
here?
vlog. Yeah, hello, I'm Smoe, I'm a German graffiti artist, and I just painted this nice staircase the last 40 days or something. Probably, I don't know.
Quick little project.
Quick little project. This will be, by the way, this will be the introduction of my video. I will put the screenshot of you asshole in there.
Hey, I'm not an asshole.
A little bit. A good friend. Good friend.
Yeah,
There's a close border between good friend and asshole.
that's correct.
Marielle, the head of the cultural society in Ostbevern, gave a heartwarming speech about the process, how she had witnessed me going through all the emotional ups and downs that every artwork contains, about the history of the old fire station, why they built the staircase there at all, and how happy they are that they finally have a solution. I also freestyled a quick speech as well. And after some applause for the deputy chairman of the Sparkasse Münsterland Ost, the head of the bank's cultural foundation, and the mayor of Ostbevern, they revealed something I truly did not see coming. They were so happy with the result, with the idea, my work ethic and the execution that they decided to pay me even more than originally agreed. And honestly, this was absolutely not what I expected. A huge thank you to Marielle Fenka for her wonderful speech and to every one of you for watching the video until the end. And don't worry, you won't have to wait another 2 months for the next upload. Now you know why this one took so long.
Yo, friends and followers, and don't forget, if you want to get this nice print, check out my shop, smonova.de. The link is also there as a QR code, so you can lay on the couch, scan it, and get yourself the Mona Lisa. All I can say is that I'm super happy that I finally finished this project. In one of the next projects, I will definitely test the MetaQuest 3. Everyone is talking about it. I also have the RoboCap here to test it a second time after painting the eye in the abandoned factory. And yeah, I got a new one. Let's test if this one is better. And yeah. Please don't forget to like the subscribe button, do all the YouTube stuff, and I hope to see you in the next project. Bye bye.
Hey, Smoe. This seems to be just a quick little project for in between. Hey, Smoe. Ich glaube, die Leute halten mich jetzt für bekloppt, weil ich hier stehe und die ganze Zeit den gleichen Satz in mein Handy spreche. Quick little project for in between.